Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches, episode 146. Tonight we're reviewing Power Rangers.
Go, go, Power Rangers! Which was more exciting.
That just sounds like 1990s commercials to me. Like, I just now want, like, Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Lucky Charms. Like,
Ooh.
you know, it's just like that immediate...
Pizza bagels.
Yeah.
Capri Sun.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Taste you can see.
It's the magical part of a complete breakfast.
Now there's a hologram pouch and specially marked boxes of Capri Sun.
Whoa, we just sat through Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Which
Who
is
thought that it would...
over 2 hours long.
Okay, so, like, I actually liked a lot of this movie.
Yeah.
And then...
Hated it.
It was so boring, and I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be really dumb and fun and stupid and whatever, which in parts it was.
It started in the Cenozoic era?
Something like that.
Something, you know.
Yeah, some Jurassic period. Well, not Jurassic, but whatever.
Metazoic, whatever.
Yeah.
It was like Cenozoic era, and then I was like, oh no, this movie is taking itself seriously. Like, oh no, it thinks it's real. Oh no.
And Bryan Cranston shows up.
And Bryan Cranston is there. Who I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He used to work at Saban Entertainment, which is who produced Power Rangers.
Right.
And that's why Billy Cranston, the Blue Ranger, is named Cranston. They named it after Bryan Cranston before he was famous.
Wow.
And then I guess they were like, hey, 20 years later, Bryan, we need a favor. You have to come back and be Zordon. Cool. So, full disclosure, I was a huge Power Rangers fan as a kid.
And I, don't really remember it at all.
You, missed it, I think.
Yeah.
It didn't happen for you.
No.
I was obsessed with the Power Rangers. Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles. That was it. That was my life. I wanted to see this because I was like, oh, at best, it'll be nostalgic. At worst, it'll be a hilarious mess. And it was just real boring.
Well, and what's so crazy is I watched the trailer. I was like, this looks hilarious. We have to see this movie. And somehow I think they just took every scene of silliness from the entire movie, and it only adds up to a 90-second trailer.
I think the trailer, whoever cut the trailer, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Or got what it should have been.
Yeah.
And boy, was it long.
It was just so long.
I was sitting there going, could have cut that scene. Could have cut that scene. That didn't make any difference whatsoever.
Right?
Cut a room floor. Cut it. Cut it out. Cut. Like, this movie could have been 84 minutes.
Right.
And I would have been like, yes.
They have this whole thing where the kids are all loners, and it's like a very Breakfast Club moment where they all meet in detention and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's Breakfast Club meets Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Meets Transformers.
A little bit. I liked this whole thing that they were doing where it's like, oh, let's all find each other and let's find friends because we all have different problems with ourselves, which is a little heavy-handed.
Well, it was funny to watch something that was so 90s and those tropes and then what they did for now, right? So it's like in the 90s, the nerd was just a nerd with glasses and now he's on the spectrum. The Black Ranger was black in the 90s. And now, oh no, we're going to switch that up. He's Asian, which is, it's good.
He was the hottest one.
It's good. He was hot. The Asian girl was Yellow Ranger in the 90s. So there was a lot of
Latino, which I guess.
It's just there was a lot of things in the 90s that you're like, oh, this is not great.
I remember that line.
Oh my God, when the robot was like, you're a bunch of different colored Rangers and different colored kids. Or something about being different colored kids. And I was like, oh no.
I'm blue.
Oh, I'm black.
What?
I am.
No, you're not.
Although, of course, the pretty popular Pink Ranger is still a pretty popular girl.
Sure.
That's never going to change. It's never going out of style.
I did like what they did though with the whole kumbaya-ness of them having to become friends and stick together and teamwork.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It started and I was like, oh, this is really good.
Right?
I was into Jason, the Red Ranger.
Yeah.
It starts.
He is like a poor man's Zac Efron, and I'm okay with it.
He's like a poor man's Zac Efron and Jude Law. Who's
Okay.
he was almost cute.
Yeah, not quite.
I did appreciate that all the kids seemed to be actual teenagers.
Yeah,
or at least
or
young-ish.
close enough.
They
yeah.
weren't like 28 or whatever. And they were fuck-ups. They were doing real fuck-up things. There was the question of poverty. There was the question of, like, sick parents. You know, like, kids with actual problems.
Yeah.
And not just like, oh, everything's fine and I'm affluent and, like,
Right.
nothing's a big deal. Which is what a lot of kids' movies are these days.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm kind of into this.
Right?
And then
It took so long.
there was so much exposition. And I do not remember that from the original TV show.
I don't know.
After 10,000 years, I'm free. It's time to conquer Earth.
Alpha, Rita's escape. Recruit a team of teenagers with attitudes.
It took literally an hour and 40 minutes out of this 2 hour and 4 minute movie for them to transform into Power Rangers.
I was like, just morph already! Basically, the last 20 minutes is an episode of Power Rangers, right? And that's the only time when you feel like it's a Power Rangers movie. The first half just feels like an angsty teen dramedy.
It felt very much like a Walk to Remember.
It did. The bad boy quarterback got in trouble, and now he's with the wrong side of the tracks crew, and maybe he's gonna fall in love with the bad girl who jumps into quarries at night, because that's a thing that people do.
Why did they all go to this gold mine?
The quarry was just like the place to hang out, and I was like, what?
I mean, I guess maybe in a small town, what do you do?
Go to the quarry? Like,
you want to go into
just,
nature?
Like, chill?
I don't know.
It seemed weird.
Well, they're loners. They're lone wolves that found their pack, Avaryl. I liked all that though.
It was just like that.
It took so long. Like, remember when they like all are super powery, but they didn't know what's going on, and they like jump. They're like jumping cliffs and stuff, and then like one of them falls, and they're like, oh my god, he just died, and then it's like, oh no, he's okay. And then they like swim through water, and then there's this thing, and then they discover the ship, and then it was like, oh my god, this took 8 minutes. Why did it take so long to find this fucking, like, come on.
Yeah.
And then they find it, and then it's, oh my god, the robot.
Ay, ay, ay.
Oh my god. So Alpha 5, who in the cartoon is just like a very silly looking, you know, C-3PO. I mean, he's not, but like he's like a guy in an outfit, and you're just like, love this. Is like a really stupid CGI
Really
character.
terrible. Really terrible.
The whole time, I swear to God, I thought it was Ken Jeong.
You have to remember that in today's training lesson, the important thing is to... Wait, where's Zach?
Oh, it does kind of sound like that.
Totally sounded like him, right?
Yeah, and it was like this weird like ADR like punch-up dialogue.
Oh,
it was like in the background.
Everything was like they did it 3 weeks ago.
Right?
And they just brought him in. But it's not Ken Jeong. It's Bill Hader.
What?
Right? I was shocked.
Ay, ay, ay.
So Rita Repulsa is played by Elizabeth Banks. She was actually kind of scary. Like, if I was a kid,
Oh yeah.
I would have been terrified of Elizabeth Banks. She's like stealing people's gold teeth, and she's all like, you know, feral and crazy.
She was great.
She was really good.
Why was it Elizabeth Banks? Why did she turn into a human? Like, we saw her at the beginning 56 million years ago as an alien.
Yeah, I don't really have the answer to that question. I did not remember the backstory of this from my days in elementary school watching Power Rangers. All I remember is that they were at high school and they were like, oh, Zach, stop, you're so cute.
Well, Zach is going to practice with them all day.
Good. Then they'll learn to work as a team.
Yes.
You know, and then they would, you know, change and kick butt, and then it would change over to like horrible stock footage from the Japanese version of the TV show that they cut together, and it was like, this. Fun fact, in the Japanese version, the Yellow Ranger is a man, but in the American one, it's a tiny Asian woman, and so they cut it together, so they picked her so you couldn't tell. It was horrible. It's horrifying. It's horrifying.
Oh no.
It's not good. That's why only the Pink Ranger has his little skirt. I have a question.
Okay.
Did Elizabeth Banks also do the production design for the movie? Because she was
Doing the scenery.
munching it all up.
I loved it.
She was fantastic.
She was
Every time
really
she showed
wonderful.
up, I was like,
Yeah.
yes, she gets it. She's in the movie that I wanted.
Yeah. She was giving me some like Uma Thurman
Poison Ivy,
really, like just like give me like really playing up that like crazy lady villainess.
I feel like Elizabeth Banks is just like reading scripts and going, which one has the wackiest costumes? Give it to me, I want it. Right? Yeah. That seems to be.
Here's my biggest issue with it.
Yeah.
The robot was the most annoying thing I've seen on film in possibly the past 4 years. Just literally the most annoying.
It was really annoying.
And then Bryan Cranston as like this weird, stupid, like
well, it was like,
shape.
You know, what's that thing at like Sharper Image where you like put your hand in all those needles?
It was like that you had when you were a kid, and you would like, exactly, you'd be like,
oh,
or like, oh yeah,
and then you're like,
stick.
oh, I just got all kinds of diseases, I just put my face on this, and you're like, ugh. It was that.
He was so annoying. They were trying to set up that he wanted to come back to life.
Which they didn't set up properly.
No.
Yeah.
Because he also sacrificed his own life.
Yeah.
In the beginning. If we hadn't seen that.
Right. I didn't understand why he was stuck in the wall.
Because the robot had downloaded his essence. He had Johnny Depped him. It was a throwaway line that the robot was like, I uploaded your essence into the ship.
Oh, I missed that.
Then it was like this stupid weird line that like the red guy, Jason, overheard.
Right.
Where the robot was like, if you get them all to try and morph and open the morph realm, then field
sounds more correct.
Then you can use that opportunity to like resurrect yourself. But what body was he gonna have?
Bryan Cranston? I don't know.
Was he gonna put himself into the dead?
Into Billy? That's what I thought was gonna happen. I was like, whoa.
I would have rather just scrapped that and give me more of like a Charlie's Angels, like, you know, like I wanted them to be like, oh, what do we do? What? We're Power Rangers now? What does that mean? And he'd be like, this is what it means. This is what you gotta do.
And then
we're gonna have a training montage where we actually train you?
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, where you have your outfits on? I mean, it definitely felt like, okay, so like the whole thing in this movie was that they couldn't morph because, I don't know, they didn't like...
They didn't know each other
well enough or whatever. I don't really remember that being a thing in the show either. It was just like, now we're morphing. But it definitely felt like, oh, we don't feel like paying to animate their outfits for like 90% of this movie, so we'll save money by just having them fight in their just regular. Lord Zed did not show up. Scorpina did not show up. I miss them.
I don't know what
I miss the real shitty costumes. Like, they were so shitty. Like, Goldar in the show basically looks like one of the flying monkeys from Wizard of Oz, but he has Gerard Butler's like gold suit of armor, but like he's like busting, like there's like fur and like his monkey face, and you're like, what's this though?
Love it.
This is everything.
I mean, this Goldar was also pretty Gods of Egypt-y, but in a very different way.
Oh, it was so Gods of Egypt-y, but like Gods of Egypt was so much better than this.
So much more fun.
Did you think it was weird that like their one move that Alpha 5 teaches them that's like the big, like they save the day, is just like a pile driver? I thought that was underwhelming.
It was.
There was no like, let's train and do like moves together. Like at the end they just like have these moves and you're like, when did you do this? I guess when they were training in the pit, but we
never saw that,
and
so then what's the point of that montage?
They finally get they morph, they finally get their armor, and it's just like, oh, we just know how to use this.
Right.
Oh, we just know how to drive these dinosaurs. Oh, that's fine. And you're like, wait, what? I wanted to see them figure it out over the course of a movie.
But the problem was that the main guy, Bryan Cranston.
Oh, Bryan Cranston.
He was impeding this movie from going anywhere.
Yeah.
And as a result, I just didn't give a fuck for a good half of this movie.
He wasn't like a good sensei.
No.
He wasn't like, let me share my wisdom. He was like a selfish asshole. Billy almost morphs.
Mm-hmm. He does morph.
Well, like he morphs for like a second and then goes back, and they're all excited. Bryan Cranston's like, "You're done for the day. You guys don't get it." And
get out
like,
my lawn.
I mean, he should have just like, get out of my quarry.
It should have been Clint Eastwood.
Oh my god, if it was Clint Eastwood, it kind of would have been hilarious. But instead of a face it's just an older man sitting in a chair. It projected through the needles.
He should have been like, you cannot let her get this gold. Go stop her.
Yeah.
And they'd be doing it individually where they're like, I'm going to be the one to stop her. And then like, they get defeated, but like maybe she doesn't get all of the gold, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, we have to work together as a team, which then becomes the lesson at the end when they come together as one giant team of a body.
You're good. Excited.
I got really into it. I don't know what their story was, and so as a result, I didn't give a fuck about them.
Yeah.
And then you're not like rooting for them to defeat her because you're like, I don't even know who she is, but she seems pretty fabulous.
Yeah, like I'm kind of into what's going on with her, so
Right?
maybe yes.
It's like maybe she and like Charlize Theron should get together
And just like wear the fuck out of some gowns and crowns.
Yes. She can make Charlize like a gold crown
Oh
thing.
my god, gold wings. I mean,
Loving this movie.
sequel. Charlize Theron as Scorpina. I am in it. She's not above it. She's in the new Fast and Furious movie.
Right?
Wouldn't be surprised.
I would love that.
That would be great.
Mm.
The most excited that I got during the entire movie was at the very end when there is a completely like dialogue-free cameo from Amy Jo Johnson and the guy who played Tommy the Green Ranger, which the whole time I was like, where's Tommy? Like, where is Tommy? And I was like, Amy Jo Johnson! Oh my god, I was so excited. Why wasn't she one of their moms? What's she doing that she didn't have time to play one of their moms? She could have been Kimberly's mom.
They didn't want them to have moms.
It was weird that their parents were very absent. Do you remember Susie Q? The Disney movie with Amy Jo Johnson?
Where they like drive off a bridge.
She dies. She's like in the 50s.
Yeah.
And she dies.
In a car accident
And
off
then
a bridge.
she's like I think it's like a take on the Blithe Spirit, like the Noel Coward play, where it's like, I'm gonna, bother you, be your ex or whatever.
Right. And then doesn't like she like teaches them a lesson or whatever, and then they like in order to like bring her back to life or to let her go, they have to drive across the bridge again.
Maybe, yeah,
Yes, I do remember that.
Should we add that to the retro reviews list?
Yes.
Because I feel like I want to rewatch Susie Q.
In that case, I'm also adding Smart House to the list because that movie was great. When they
Katie Seagal in that? The mom from Married with Children? I think she's the mom.
There is no mom. She might be the Smart House.
But like it's like a
It's a projected woman, yes.
Yeah. I think it's Katie Seagal.
You're right.
Yeah.
And then at the end they dance to like 98 Degrees or something. It's great. It's terrible.
Why
but it's
wasn't
great.
this movie campier?
It needed to be, right?
Oh my god, remember when she goes in the bathroom and then she decides to cut all of her hair off with blunt scissors? And it looks like done. And you're like, no. If you've ever tried to cut Barbie's hair with blunt scissors, it looks crazy.
Yeah, you don't cut your own hair in the bathroom at school. That's a bad idea. I would say don't go see this movie.
The only thing I'll say is it made me remember how much I used to love Power Rangers, so that was kind of fun.
That's something.
I got to like, oh, remember that? Remember that? It reminded me there was a Power Rangers movie with Amy Jo Johnson and the cast or whatever, and there was totally this song that will be stuck in your head forever. Are you ready?
Oh no.
It was like, uh-oh, you're in trouble. Something's come up, gonna burst your bubble, 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 bubble. And it was like, that was the whole song.
Uh-oh, we're in trouble. Something's come along and it's burst our bubble.
Why didn't they keep the original score?
I mean, Jesus Christ, if that song had played over the credits. I mean, it needed more. I don't usually say this. It needed more fan service.
It really kind of did.
For something that's so like silly and like not serious, it needed more.
I wish they had just kind of gone a little bit silly or fun with it and just been like, okay, fan service, like campy, nostalgic nonsense.
We're the Power Rangers.
Ooh, where's my autograph book?
I felt like if I was a kid, I would have been very bored. As a child.
If I was a kid, I could have taken a 45-minute bathroom break and it would have been fine. I could have gone to the bathroom and then on the way back, I'm like, oh, but I want popcorn. And then waited in line, gotten popcorn, but I want Junior Mints now too. Waited in line again for the Junior Mints and then come back and my parents would have been like, oh, really, Andrew? And they're like, oh no, we didn't miss anything.
Oh my god, we didn't talk about the end!
Oh my god, we didn't talk about the end!
Was this the the entire movie?
Absolutely. It was the dumbest and silliest, so yes. So
they stab Goldar / Rita.
Yep.
And then she just
decides to like,
oh, I'll leave.
Yeah.
And comes out of the gold and is just like, basically like, well, I'll get you, my pretty. And they're like, fuck you. And then as giant, when they all come together as the giant robot,
yeah,
they bitch slap her into outer space. And boy, was it great.
Oh my god, it was so stupid.
She literally is like, ah! And then it's just in space. I mean, it was wacky. This movie was really bad.
This movie was really bad.
I would say go check out old episodes of Power Rangers if because that's literally the best thing that came out of this. Was I got to like nostalgia remember the Power Rangers. I was like, oh, I love Amy Joy Johnson, and so that's about the best I could say about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. You're fine.